Hey guys, welcome back to some more Football Manager 2018 and another one of my FM Into the Far Future videos. Today we are doing 500 years in the future of Football Manager. What does the future hold for football? What does Football Manager predict will happen in football in 500 years time? Now we've already done 250, 150, both 50 and 250 are on my channel. The 100 is on FM Scouts. This was going to be on FM Scout, but I need a little bit more content for my channel over the Christmas, so I'm going to be doing it on my channel, and we'll also be doing the 1000-year video, but it will take an absolute age to simulate because this has been 25 days worth of game time to get up to this point, so times that by 2 because we've only done 500 so far. So expect a couple of videos, maybe doing them 750 and then 1000 after that. So yeah, hopefully it should be a load of fun. Anyway, hopefully you guys are good. I've took on board some of your suggestions, things that you want to look at, because we forgot to look at the Manager Hall of Fame last time. There's so much information that I do forget things, and that's why I leave the save file down in the description. That all of the save files are down there, so that you guys can play along yourself and you can maybe start a save, although I will say it absolutely drags. Anyway, enough rambling, let's get into it. So here we are in game then, and without further ado, I think because we've just went on to the World Cup, shall we have a look at it? Quite topical because it's World Cup year and all that, so we'll have a look at who's won the past ones. Those are the current quarterfinalists in the 2518 World Cup, which is hosted in South Korea, because the North and South is still divided in 500 years' time. Fair enough, and the holders are currently France, but you can see there has been a little bit of dominance from 4 teams for the last, no, it's 5 teams, isn't it? Fair enough. You can see Portugal and Holland have won a lot of the most recent ones. Switzerland in there again. They were very good in the 2040s. Austria have won a World Cup. Romania have won a World Cup. We'll go down to 250. And this is where we left off last episode, so any surprises since then? Germany won it 3 times in a row. That's very impressive. Scotland won a World Cup. I'm pretty sure Scotland may have won it before that, but anyway, Scotland win a World Cup. How many have they won? Just out of curiosity. And you can see the game visibly lags at this many years into the future. So I don't think we're going to look at specific teams and specific nations. We're just going to look at the leagues, and then the cup competitions like the Champions League and the Europa League, the World Cup and the Euros, and then the Manager Hall of Fame. I'm not sure we'll be able to look at the Ballon d'Or, and I don't know how interesting that is to you guys. So let me know down in the comments. We'll try it, but if it takes too long, then yeah. So they have won 1 World Cup. They've been runners up twice and 3rd place 4 times, and they've won the Euros twice as well. I think that's maybe what we've seen them win in the last episode. So Holland and Germany there. France, England have won a World Cup. They've won quite a few actually. And then Holland and Portugal. Shall we see who's the most times winner? France with 19. That's quite surprising because I don't tend to see France that much, although we see them sporadically. Maybe they've won it sporadically enough to be the most times champion. Any more records that have fallen? Biggest win is 10-0, Italy versus China in 20... Well, actually, it was this year. That's crazy, having a record set this year in game. We've had 500 years, and it's only this year that record has happened. Most games won in a row, 14. Most games lost in a row, Togo. Most games without losing, France. So that must have been a wow! What? France, how many World Cups did they win in a row? What was that, 21-34? How didn't we notice this? So they won 2. I guess it's because it's every 4 years, isn't it? So they won it twice and then lost in 22-42. Silly Joe. Most goals was still just Fontaine in 1958, which is 600 years ago now. Nearly 600. That is insanity. The fastest score was 11 seconds in 2002. That's never been broken. Oldest player, never been broken. Youngest player has been broken. Frank Perez for Costa Rica. So yeah, that's that. I think that's quite fun. The oldest goal scorer was never beaten, but youngest goal scorer was. We've got Zana Sanu for Burkina Faso, 2-1 against South Korea in 24-34. So that's the World Cup. We'll have a quick look at the European Championship and see if anything has come of that. Somebody asked about looking at the other sort of continental trophies like the Copa America and things, which we will do in due course. Well, we might have a look today, actually. Portugal, the current holders, England winning there. You can see the sort of cyclic nature of the hosts. I guess it has to be in Europe at least. Austria obviously had a good spell there because they won the World Cup. Romania as well. Sweden won it. That's quite a surprising one. Scotland, there you go. We've already looked at all them, so let's have a look at the records. Most time winners, France with 23. Any interesting stats down here? 9 seconds is the fastest goal. That was set in 2,156. The oldest players and goal scorers still hasn't changed, which is fine. Shall we have a look at the Copa America? Is it that one? That's Copa Centro America though, isn't it? And look at that, Costa Rica winning a lot of that. What was it? Confederations Cup. We'll see who's been winning that, and then from there we should be able to. Hold on, it stopped in 2097. That's a bug. And I bet you it's something nobody's actually found out. But if you go that far into the future, that's where it ends. Right, so from Brazil we can get to the... Oh no, we've just clicked on a nation. This is the last time we'll do it, because we'll just check out the Copa America, and then we'll do the Africa Cup of Nations as well, just to check those. There we go, Copa America. That continues all the way. Argentina, Chile, Colombia. It doesn't look like there's any big surprises there. We'll have a look at all 500 years, because USA won it 1 year. I didn't even know they played in the Copa America, but how odd. Grey Hair Gaming, if you're out there, USA win a trophy. Look at this from Brazil though. They absolutely stormed it for years. Yeah, then you can see. So only once USA won it, in 2,227. If you can hang on that long, grey-haired gaming, then you'll see your home nation win a major trophy. Is it Cup? African Cup of Nations. So Algeria are the current holders. I expect this to be much more mixed, although Algeria have won 4. By the way, I didn't check who was the most times winner of the Copa America, because it was quite evident that Brazil were. Guinea-Bissau, that's quite a surprising one, I guess. Not really many more in there that are too surprising. So, shall we have a look at records? Most time winner, Morocco. That surprises me. I don't know why, but it does. Biggest win with 10-0. Oldest goal scorer has actually been broken. 38 years. Ibrahima Sorry Conte. Youngest goal scorer is 16 years old. I just laughed at the Sorry Conte thing. So youngest has never been broken. Fastest goal has been 9 seconds. Oldest player has been Lucky Manana, and Chivastar and Zigu for Gabon, still the youngest player ever to play in an African Cup of Nations. Right then, let's have a look at the Premier League and see how that has developed over the last years. So Hull have won recently, but Chelsea look like they have dominated. Bournemouth as well up there with QPR. So it looks like we've had a little bit of a changing of the guard. If we go down to 268, West Ham, that is insane. Then Chelsea and Man City had a bit of dominance. Arsenal chipping in, Middlesbrough chipping in as well. Arsenal winning a few, and then West Ham, another dominant spell from the Hammers. Birmingham up there in second. Is there anybody else? Bradford City finishing third, although I think they won a Premier League at some point. QPR won a load of trophies, so did Tottenham. You can see it's just spells of dominance everywhere. Fulham just pop up from nowhere and dominate. And then the Arsenal age. Weirdly, that season they finished third, but every other season they finished top. Bournemouth winning 4 in a row there, and then Arsenal winning a lot. Bradford City did win another one. Brighton, Leicester. This is crazy, actually. This is absolutely crazy. I think one thing to have a look at will maybe be, for instance, Arsenal, and still seeing if Arsene Wenger is considered a legend. I don't know if that's a thing in Football Manager this far into the future. Bradford City win a few. Bournemouth, QPR, Chelsea. So I tell you what, Arsenal haven't won for a long time, which is quite surprising. Let's have a look at general. So yeah, the likes of Thierry Henry, although they haven't got their. Oh no, Delight. He obviously played for Arsenal at some point. There's Arsene Wenger. He still there. And you can see there that you have to scroll on the legends, and there's nobody on favoured personnel, so maybe that's broken at this point. But the likes of Freddie Ljungberg's still there, George Graham. So yeah, legends don't change, but obviously new ones get added in, and yeah. But Tony Adams is still the ultimate legend of Arsenal, as well as Thierry Henry and Ian Wright, Patrick Vieira there as well, Dennis Bergkamp. I don't know who Cliff Baston or Bob Wilson are, whether they're real life players or what. Arsenal actually got relegated, looking at that, which is the first time we've seen one of the huge teams get dominated, get relegated. So let's have a look at the records. The most times winners, Man City still with 109. There's not much else to say. Oldest goal scorer, oldest player still not broken, but Tom Poole in 2,287, 15 years and 207 days, made his debut. And youngest goal scorer, Shamia Radmore, about 20-30 years ago, at the age of 50. He might still be playing. No, he's a chief scout now. He didn't actually have that good a career for starting that early. He was just unlucky that he was playing at Chelsea for so long, I think. Didn't fulfil his potential. Went to Swansea, did alright. Then went to West Ham in the Championship after being so dominant, and fizzled out, really, which is a shame, because he looks like he could have been a good player. Scoring when he's 15 in the Premier League is sensational. Highest attendance ever is West Ham. So none of the Premier League teams have gone to the maximum attendance yet, which is interesting. Do you reckon West Ham are still playing at the Olympic Stadium? Shall we have a look? Was it facilities? They're at Bobby Moore Park. And that was built in 2504, so I wonder if any real stadiums are still being used. I wonder. Little Heath Sports Ground. I guess Barcelona would be the one you would expect. We'll have a look at the La Liga after this. So, Barcelona would be the one you'd expect to still be at the Nou Camp. No. That was built 400 years ago, so yeah, quite scary actually. Let's have a look at the La Liga and not the La Liga. I've been told that it's just La Liga because La is the in Spanish, which I kind of knew anyway, but I don't know. It's just a manner of speaking, innit? Barcelona, Villarreal, Atletico Madrid. It's certainly... Oh, wow, look at this from Villarreal. That's crazy. I'll tell you what, Villarreal have won quite a lot, and Real Madrid haven't won for quite some time. I think we've seen that they got relegated at some point last time out. If we have a look at the records, the most time winner is Barcelona with 240. We'll now have a look at Serie A and see how that's doing. I am conscious of time. We've already been going nearly 15 minutes now, so I do want to be wrapping up fairly soon. But Napoli seem to be dominating this league. Roma, Milan. If we just scroll down, Cesena, quite near Rimini, where I went in the summer, won a league, but Napoli have been pretty dominant. Lupa Roma, who are these? I've never heard of them. They were founded in 2013, so that was very, very recent in our timeline. But goodness me, they've won a championship. Bari, Benevento Calcio. Pretty crazy things are going on, but Juve, and you just see it with all the leagues, just spells of dominance, and it's kind of what's happening in Scotland in real life at the minute, I guess. But crazy stuff. Let's have a look at the Scottish Premier League. Speaking of that, people were saying, why did you load the Scottish Premier League? Well, it was requested. If you want to see a league as well, request it and I'll load it up, ready for next time. Yeah, so Celtic and Rangers have reasserted their dominance on the league in recent years, but you can see there, Hamilton and Aberdeen went absolutely crazy. Dundee United, Partick Thistle, Dunfermline, Ross County, Hamilton, Dunfermline, Celtic, Hibernian there. This is crazy stuff. Dunfermline Athletic, you know, as crazy as it might sound, might have a shot at being the most times winner of this. Oh, goodness me, Hibernian had a dominant period. Ross County, Hibernian again, and Celtic, Ross County, Rangers. That is crazy. Records, most times winner Celtic, 239. Dunfermline obviously haven't won it that many times, but they've probably won it a fair few. If we actually click on them, they've won it 62 times. But look at that, 20 Champions Leagues. Liga, we'll have a look at that. And I'm curious to see if Bayern Munich are back in the Bundesliga, because they had been stuck in the Zweite Bundesliga for about 150 years when we last had a look. So Paris Saint-Germain still the most time winners, but we want to look at the past winners. Guingamp, obviously very, very dominant period there, and then Paris Saint-Germain make it back, which is great. Stade Rennais, Brestois, I think that was, Troyes, Nancy, Bordeaux, Angers, Metz, Lorient. Lots of variety in the French league, which is something that probably will never happen now that PSG's happened. But Dijon having a bit of a dominant spell. Reims, who are these? Metz and Caen had a bit of a 10-year stranglehold there. Lille, Saint-Etienne. Brilliant stuff. Let's have a look at the Bundesliga. If any of you guys spot anything that I haven't seen, then make sure you do let me know down in the comments. Leipzig have been just completely dominant the whole save. It's actually quite ridiculous. I mean, this spell here where they didn't win is probably the best time. I just can't believe how dominant they've been. I can't see Bayern Munich anywhere on this list. So it looks like Bayern Munich still haven't made their way, certainly back up to the echelons of German football. There's Bayern there. They are in the Bundesliga, but you can see they're a bit of a yo-yo team in the Bundesliga now. Oh, there's a job advert. Shall we see if we can get it? Yeah, the last time they won a Bundesliga was 2061. Can you believe? Whoa, they finished third place in 2,496. So that was fairly recently. But you can see, in 500 years since 2062, they've only finished third twice. That's insane. Bayern Munich are the big fallen giants of this series. Champions League, let's have a look. Holders are Bordeaux. You can see Celtic have won a couple recently. Paris Saint-Germain, Aberdeen, Bournemouth, FC Barcelona, Leipzig, Hamilton. That's the thing about Leipzig. They've dominated German football, but they've never really took that to Europe. They've obviously won a lot, but they haven't dominated Europe. Aberdeen, Chelsea, Dijon have won a few. Heidenheim, Arsenal, Arsenal winning a Champions League. It's not as interesting as you would think. Arsenal winning 4 in 6 years, St Johnstone winning 1. That's pretty crazy. Kilmarnock in there as well. So Scottish football is really, really good, but I think it's because it's loaded. I think they're obviously getting better players. I did have a read. Somebody asked if Rangers had a tycoon. They did. Most teams have had a tycoon by this point of the game, so that doesn't necessarily mean much. I was saying about RB Leipzig not really taking it to Europe. They've won 81 Champions Leagues in 500 years. That's almost a fifth. That is crazy. Crazy talk. Shall we see youngest goal scorers? Mauro De Simone. And oldest goal scorers, Cristiano Ronaldo, 39 years and 37 days. I wish we could have a look at the end of his career. He retired when he was 39, so that was his last year as a footballer. So that's pretty interesting. He seemed to go on for quite a while. I can't see Lionel Messi anywhere, because I would have kind of quite liked to have maybe looked at him. Let's have a look at the Europa League. Most times winner at Chelsea with 26, which is really not many. So we're expecting a lot of sort of different winners here. And you can see Motherwell winning it quite a few times, and Montpellier, Cardiff won a Europa League. Where are they now? They're in the Premier League. Let's have a look. Have they ever won the Premier League? They did. Very recently. How did we miss that? Did we miss that? Huh? There they are. Cardiff. Goodness me. Cardiff winning a Premier League. And then they won the Europa League many years before that. So, yeah, that's pretty crazy. Cardiff won a Premier League. First Welsh team to do it, I think. Actually, no, but Swansea did it in the 80s, didn't they? I think. Not sure. We're going down here. So you've got Espanyol in there, Cardiff, obviously, Benfica, Porto. We haven't seen much of Portuguese teams, have we? Maybe that might be a league to load up, but I feel like I'll break the game at this point if I do that, and Portugal will just dominate. Dortmund in there, Hull winning it, but they are the Premier League champions at the minute, so they're expected to do that. But no, that's fairly interesting. Shall we see if we can have a look at the Ballon d'Or, see if any players have had a stranglehold on it over the last few years? It doesn't actually look that way. There was this guy, Ervis Rexepi, who is a director of football these days, but you can see he had a very, very good career, especially sort of around here, around the turn of the the turn of the century, he did very well. RB Leipzig, he had a few years playing well. We will have a look at transfers as well, because that surely has to be broken at some point. Herman McKendy didn't stay in football, but look at that. Look at that for a life. He played at Aberdeen for 13 years. That's got to be commended. Nicolai and Serra won it 3 years in a row. Van Putten won it quite a few times. If we have a look at him, he retired when he was 36. It's difficult to tell how good these players were unless you can sort of see them. This guy looks good. He won it 5 of 6 years. Played for Holland. It looks like they're taking a photo from his grave there. He looks he looks rather unwell. Cristiano. Nah, some good players there, but I don't think it's that valuable to look at that. I think maybe if we look at Pedro Jose, look at his stats, very, very good. His physicals particularly are incredible. He's been playing at Benfica all his career, and look at this guy. Whoa. He's pretty good. He's not, Ronaldo Messi type, but he's pretty good, to say the least. Esposito, the most recent winner of it. Physicals are fantastic. Generally, though, his stats are great, but not world-beaten. Although, look at these stats. Whew. How didn't he win the Ballon d'Or that year? That is crazy. 34 goals in 38 appearances. Crazy talk. Right then, shall we have a look at the Hall of Fame before we finish off? And that is interesting, because the last time I looked at this, Antonio Conte was still in the lead by a massive margin. But we have this guy. Hold on, he was born then, so he must have always been top. Ole Adlon. I mean, this is crazy. I think we've looked at this guy before. He was with RB Leipzig for years, and he's basically broke the game. I think this is probably a better way to look at it. Arsenal, Man City, Paris Saint-Germain, RB Leipzig, Real Madrid, West Ham, and he finished his career at West Ham by the looks of it. Antonio Conte there, Tistas, I think we'll have looked at him. Rafael, Mourinho is obviously still at number 5. So it's interesting that most of these guys are from very early in the game. What about this guy? Yeah, he's from early-ish in the game. This guy's more recent though, Gerald Jacobs, who's English. I don't know who he managed though. He's the highest placed English manager. Heidenheim was his first job, and then Arsenal, Bournemouth, Cardiff, Dunfermline Athletic, Barcelona, Lorient, Bordeaux, Ross County. Good stuff. Pep Guardiola still 6th. Is Alex Ferguson still in the top 20? No, he's not. It's quite sad, actually. The only other English manager in there is Mickey Lewis, who managed Kilmarnock, Leicester, Leipzig, and Benfica. So it looks as if whoever gets the Leipzig job will end up on this top 10 list somewhere, because they're just dominating Germany. Allegri's still there, by the way. Tony Olsen looks like a good manager. He managed 10 teams, though. Yeah, that's pretty crazy, and I think that is where we're going to leave it, to be quite honest with you. I think it's been very, 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 very interesting. 500 years into the future to see what holds for football, and it looks like a lot of RB Leipzig dominance, and yeah, pretty crazy. Oh, we'll have a look at the transfers, because I forgot. So let's have a look at the the leading transfers. It shouldn't take too long. I think you go into transfers and then into leading transfers. And if Mbappe is still top, that's crazy. Because 500 years have passed. And it'll mean that Neymar's record will never be broken. And it hasn't been. It really hasn't been. George Boateng, the reincarnation of him in 24-92, 130. Wait, whoa! We've had it broken. We've had it broken, everybody. We have 210 million for Jesper Anderson. We can't look at him though. These mustn't have been that good. To Malmo and Gothenburg. Whoa. Why are they spending 200 million? Have they had a tycoon? They must have. But why on earth are they spending that amount of money? That is really crazy. And it's happened so recently as well. And these players mustn't have actually been that good, because we couldn't look at them. But 210 million, 201 million, they've both happened in the last 100 or so years, which is crazy how it took that long to break the record. But we have had 2 world record transfers, which is crazy talk. That's a good place to end off then, isn't it? If you have enjoyed this episode, if there's anything you would like to see, anything that I've missed, leave them down in the comments. I will leave the save file in the comments as well for you guys. Not in the comments, in the description for you guys to download and have a play with yourself. But if you have enjoyed, make sure you leave a like down below. It really does help out the channel, helps other people see this video. And make sure you do subscribe for daily FM18 content. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.